So, like I was explaining before, in the database management system, how is this employee table? What is the form? How is it existing there? This is it. When you click here, this is it. Can you see it? Create table, HR employees, that is the schema and then the table name. Now, in bracket, you are seeing all the columns. Employee ID is telling you the data type. First name, variable character. Last name, variable character. That is character. So what this data type means is that in this column, employee ID, you can't put anything there that is not number. So if you try to type something there, it will throw you an error. Are you with me? That is what we call integrity constraint. Integrity. So it means that you cannot alter the inside operation of this database. It is being monitored. Something is monitoring it. So if you try to input something in there that is not what is expected, it will bounce back, it will throw you an error. So there's a control system that is making sure that you can't breach this database. Are you with me? You cannot breach it. So whatever you are going to put into it has to be what has been said that will be able to enter into this place. You try putting something else there to bounce back. So now you know that there is an integrity with this database. So you can pull out anything that you want. So as we go on, I will be teaching you how you manipulate your output, which is this output that we are looking at. I can manipulate it and make it come out in a way that it is not like that in the database. So that is at another layer that I'm doing this manipulation, not at the point of the database. Hello? Okay. So did you hear what I said? I said that this data type is simply telling you that in this row, in this column, these are the expected data that should be there. First name is telling you that you can't put number in first name. It has to be character. Variable character. That's what this means. Bacha. So last name is also telling you that what is expecting there is also a variable character. Same thing with email. Same thing with phone number. And then look at this constraint. It's telling you that you must always have something in it. There must not be any row that the higher date is empty. That is the meaning of this. I will be explaining that to you as we go on. So this is the creation of the table. So in the creation of this table, the rules were set that if you try to put anything inside that table other than what has been set as the rule, it will bounce back. So with that, you are sure of the integrity of the database. That was what brought about the concept of relational database management system. You can bring out as many views as possible from a particular object. So like they always say that depending on where you are standing, you probably will be seeing things differently from the other person or from me. If we have a ball in between us and they ask you to describe it, if one side of that ball is painted black and the other side is painted white, you are going to describe that that ball is black because you are not seeing the white part. And me standing on this other side, I'm going to tell you that the ball is white because I'm not seeing the black part. That is a view. That's what you call a view. Now, that is exactly what is happening here. I am pulling out a view from a table. So I decided that I want to see only the first two columns. But when I said star, star means I want to see everything. I want to have a complete view of the whole object. So when I have a complete view of the whole object, I can now say that, okay, when somebody brings out two columns from that table, I will say, yes, these two columns are existing because I have seen the whole. But if I've not seen the whole and somebody brings out two, I can argue with the person that no, it doesn't exist, it's not from there. Are you with me, sir? So that is the whole concept. The whole concept is that we are learning a language that enables us to communicate in a realm and pull out information based on the data that are available in that realm. That is it. So that is what I want to explain today. That is what I need you to understand. So do you have any question? Okay, so the summary of what I've done with you today is to still explain the concept of the arrangement, the application, the database management system, and the database. So in one of the table, like the employee table, we said the first column is the employee ID. That is referred to as the primary key. Now, when you click on columns, you will see it. Employee ID is the primary key. And what is the function of that primary key? It helps to identify each member of that table. So no two rows have the same ID. Each row will have unique ID. That makes it the primary key. Then we talk about the foreign key. And we said the last row of this employee table is department ID, which in the department table is the primary key. So based on that, we can now pull out information to say that in this employee table, we have the first employee, which is Stephen, the second employee, which is Nina, the third employee, which is Lex, are all in the department ID 90. Then when we go to the department ID, that department is called executive. So when we come back to the employees and we look at the job ID, we can now tell that truly the first employee is the president, the second one is the vice president, and the third one is the second vice president. And then we can look at their salary. That okay, the president is earning 24,000, while the two vice presidents are earning 17,000. So we've been able to pull out information from the data that is available to us. Now, we got to this table without writing any script. We only knew how to work our way around physically. But in this place, I actually wrote a script, meaning I understand the language of how to access that information. So I wrote it here. And I was able to get similar thing like what I showed you before by just putting star in this middle. So when I did that and I ran it, it brought out the same information. So this is still the introductory part, which I have used to actually show you the link so that when you are speaking the language, you understand what this language is doing. Language is a technology that enables you access database and pull out information based on the available data. That is what a language does. So English language is enabling me speak what I'm saying now from a database. Our various dialects are languages that enable us pick information from available data in our database. So language is a technology. So that is basically what we are doing. So we are now learning this technology called SQL to enable us access the database and pull out data and present it on the screen to enable us take decision in the real world. So this is a world in its own. And you are going into that world to interact with the people in that world, pick out information, and then use it to carry out decision in your physical world. That is basically what we've done today.